What I'm going to do tonight is just cover some very rudimentary basics, nothing crazy. All right, guys, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, a lot of people are going to be watching the recording later. You got it, Chris?
Yeah, they said they just can't see the text on the screen, so you don't have to read it.
That's fine. I'll just kind of like underline it and tell you what it means. Like I said, I have absolutely no attention span, so I've got this to remind me of everything I was going to say. But first off, I just want to preface it with the fact that about, on average, 95% of Forex traders quit after the first 6 months because you get tired of your ass getting beat in the market and you just give up on it, and I get that, I understand that, you know. So if it's not something that you're prepared to kind of step into and know that it is going to be extremely difficult, it's not going to be easy. You know, if you're looking for a get-rich-quick type thing, this is not for you because you do have to put in work for it. It's not something that comes easy. You've got to study your ass off for it. I've spent more nights than I can count staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when I had work the next day at 6, you know, just trying to learn market patterns, you know, market geometry, terminology, all that kind of shit. But if it's not something you're willing to put in the work for, just stop watching now. I don't mean to sound like a douchebag, but I mean, it is what it is. Some of you guys know absolutely nothing about Forex, so I'm going to start like from the bottom here. Forex is not an MLM. You're not going to get sold a product. It's none of that bullshit. It's literally just a skill set to learn how to trade a market that's been in place for, honestly, in one form or another for hundreds of years. So if you don't think stocks are an MLM, you have no reason to think that Forex is an MLM either. But I mean, there's a lot of risk that comes with it. I've seen personal friends of mine lose $50,000 in a day out of their trading account. That's never going to come out of your bank account. You can only stand to lose what you put in. So if you put in $10, you can only stand to ever lose $10. Whether that 10 turns into 10 million or if that 10 turns into 11, you can only stand to lose your initial investment. So start very, very small. When you do start your live account, and I'm going to cover how to do that in just a second, when you do start your live account, even if you've got $5 billion to blow, don't start with more than like 10 bucks. And you can start with as little as like $10, 5 or 10 bucks. But as you're learning, you know, you don't need to be playing with a lot of money. You don't need to be gambling to that extent until you really know what you're doing. But the basic tools that I want you guys to get, if anyone here doesn't have these right now, none of these cost any money whatsoever. MetaTrader 4, METATRADER, and the number 4. Is the app that I do 95% of my trading on. And it's 100% free. Make sure you get 4. MetaTrader 4, not 5. MetaTrader 5 is the most broken piece of shit on the face of the earth. I hate it so much. It just has a lot of indicators, buttons, all that kind of crap that you just don't need. It makes things more confusing than it has to be, honestly. The website that I use to do markups like this is called tradingview.com. That's really all there is to that. It's tradingview.com. It lets you look at any pair in the market. It even lets you look at the specific dollar indexes and stuff like that. It lets you look at stocks, cryptocurrency pairs, all that kind of stuff. Education-wise, there's a lot of paid education that you can get out there. Some of it is worth it. A lot of it's not, honestly. I recommend babypips.com, BABYPIPS.com, babypips.com. It will take you from step 1 to making you a decent trader. It has all the terminology, candlestick patterns, all that kind of shit. And lastly, I want you guys to look into, this is literally what the app is called. It's Japanese Candlestick Patterns. And that's what the app's called. It's a very clean cut, easy to use app. And candlesticks are each of these little green and red bits right here, and each one means a completely different thing than the others do, and that app will teach you so fucking much about candlesticks, and candlesticks are absolutely indisposable when you're learning how to trade off of price action, which is what I do mostly. So I'm going to go over some basic terms that you guys will study in Baby Pips. Nothing that I tell you tonight is something that you can't learn on babypips.com, alright? But I just kind of want to jumpstart you guys a little bit, and for some of the dudes that are here, I want to jumpstart them a little bit. A pip is a price interest point or point in percentage. People have 2 different definitions of that, so whatever, same thing. It's basically, for lack of a better term, it's a mile in Forex. It's a movement up or down. You know, if you say something went up 5 pips, that means exactly what it sounds like. The price went up 5 pips. A trend is a very, very clear directional movement that the market's making. Like this section right here, I don't know if you guys who are watching from home can see the couple of lines that I have right here, but this is what's considered a downtrend. Price overall is starting to go a little bit further and further down. It's making lower lows and lower highs. It's a downtrend. On the inverse, we can see right here, we have an uptrend. Price is gradually going up. Support is something, support and resistance both are something that you're going to learn about, but it's very important to come into your trading style. I have a line drawn across here. You guys here can probably see it. I don't know, it's a small line. If you guys can't see it on the live stream, I do apologize. I just drew this line. This is not a support line. This is not a resistance line. This is just something that I found that at some point throughout this chart was either a support or resistance line. It was a common line at some point that covered both of those bases. But what we see right here, can you guys see this point right here? This is where it was a support line because price didn't seem, it tried and it touched that point a few times, but it didn't want to break through that point. It was at this point, it was a support line, an area of support. But we can look back and back test it and look in this same zone right here, and it was a resistance point at that point. That was a point the price did not want to seem to break above. So think of resistance as a ceiling that the price is having a hard time working above, and think of support as a floor that price is having a hard time getting under. And that's all support and resistance is. Leverage is another thing that I want to talk about. It's not directly like involved with charting, but it's something that your broker, which I will address that in a minute, will give you. Basically, when Forex started and it started getting more popular with the turn of the internet age and all of that, you had to come to the table with hundreds of thousands of dollars if you wanted to turn any sort of profit with this. Like you literally had to come with like a couple $100,000 if you wanted to make any money, because there weren't, you know, brokers that you could get left and right for easy to give you leverage. Basically what leverage is it's a multiplier of the money that you're bringing to the table. So you can come to the table with $10 and you're trading with the big dogs who have thousands, $10,000s of dollars. When you start, this is where I want you guys on the live stream, and you guys, if you don't have it already, I want you taking notes on this. I don't care if it's in a notepad or on the notepad on your phone. It's going to be the same effect. This is what you need to start trading. So you're going to need MetaTrader 4, like I said already. That's the trading app. You can get it on iPhone. You can get it on Android. It's on everything. MetaTrader 4. You can go to the bottom right button on it. This is iPhone layout now, so I don't know if the same applies for Android. But you can go to the bottom right button, and it's kind of like your profile icon button, and it has the option to add a new account on there. And you can open up a demo, what's known as a demo account within the app. Thanks, Ben.
That is Android, so.
All right, cool. Yeah, same concept. Yeah, that'll work. It's the bottom right, and it's a little like a chat bubble looking thing. And you press that, and you can register a demo account from within the app doing that. And what the demo is for is it gives you fake money to use on the real market. So you're able to practice, kind of learn what you're doing, get your feet wet, get comfortable with the buttons, what all the convoluted, confusing for now shit means. And you kind of learn how to trade and do all of that without exactly, you know, putting any risk up, because you're playing with fake money. But it's all on the real market. It's the same market at the same prices that you would be trading if you had real money. You're going to need to get a broker. And I know you're probably like, oh shit, I don't know how to do that. That sounds complicated. It literally takes 5 minutes at most to do. The broker that I suggest, and this is something you guys, everyone needs to take a note on, the broker I suggest is Hugo's Way. Like someone named Hugo, hugosway.com. They are, in my opinion, hands down, no contest, the best broker that's out there. The only thing that I will say about them that I don't like is that they don't give you a deposit bonus, and a lot of brokers do, but it's no big deal. They let you trade all of the standard pairs. They let you trade cryptocurrency pairs. They even let you trade like stocks, but you're trading them Forex style. So that's, in my opinion, way better than traditional stock trading. Open a demo account on there, and what you're going to want to do is it gives you an option to choose your leverage, which is your money multiplier. Choose 1 to 200 leverage, anywhere from that between 1 to 200 and 1 to 500. Anything beyond that, you're gonna grow and blow an account like crazy. that was mistake number one in my long list of mistakes that I made in my Forex adventure. Is I was like, oh hey, this broker I was using at the time offered me a 1 to 1,000 leverage. That means I can make $1 billion in 5 minutes, right? So
What's that
I
called?
blew.
Money what?
What's that, bud?
Money what?
Dude, I'm sorry, money what?
What was the term?
Oh, leverage.
Leverage.
Sorry, bud. I'm a dum-dum. But I had a 1 to 1,000 leverage on my first account, and I was blowing it constantly just zeroing my account out. And I would get a huge win, and then I would get an even bigger loss. I didn't know what the issue was, so I talked to a pro trader. He was like, your leverage is probably 1 to 1,000, isn't it? And I felt like I was wearing a dunce hat when he said that, because I was like, yeah, of course I would fuck up right when I start.
Sorry, dudes.
But no, you're good, man. But that's why you wanna do 1 to 200, anywhere from that between 1 to 200 and 1 to 500, because it's not gonna be an overbearing amount. It's gonna give you enough multiplier on your money that you're going to be able to trade and make some good profitable trades with it. But if you practice risk management, you're not gonna blow an account very quickly doing that. When you start your account, it's going to give you an option, your demo account now, it's going to give you an option to choose the amount of deposit that you want to do in it, so you can choose your account size that you're working with. I suggest doing a $1,000 account, because some of you may be able to do that right now, and some of you can't, and I completely get that. I mean, $1,000 is a lot of money.
And then MetaTrader can only do 3,000 was the minimum, I think.
If you do the stock demo through MetaTrader, your minimum is 3,000 in the demo now. That's not 3,000 real dollars. But if you get a Hugo's Way account and you do a demo through that, you open a demo through them, you can start with like $1. But that's fake money, so it doesn't really matter. But I suggest starting with a $1,000 deposit. That gives you a little bit more of a realistic idea of the money that you're working with. And start your learning on babypips.com. You know, even if you spend 20 minutes a day on Baby Pips, you're going to start to understand shit a lot more quickly. I also run 2 Facebook group chats with some of the guys that are, I hope, watching my live stream right now. Scott, Brendan, Chris, all you guys, I appreciate the fuck out of y'all and what you do. And you've helped me more than I can describe, and I'm very thankful for your help, your ongoing support, and everything that we're trying to do. But I run that group with those guys, and we have a general discussion group where we just talk, learn, try and help each other get to a better point, because I've been trading longer than half of those dudes in there, and they trade circles around me. So like some of the shit that they're saying, some of the things that they are trying to tell me is it doesn't even sound like English anymore, man. But they're phenomenal traders. They've helped me so much, and they have such a caring, loving personality about them, and they'll help you guys get as far along as you're willing to grow to. And none of this costs a cent. I will never, ever push a product that's going to cost anything on you guys. This benefits me in absolutely no way, shape, or form. I just want to see my friends get rich. That's literally it. But if you want to join those groups, just send me a message on Facebook, or we will get you hooked up with those groups. We do a general discussion, and we also do a signals group. And a signal is basically a trade setup. Like, we're literally sending you the criteria for a trade that you put into your trading app, and you press place order, and it makes you money. It's literally that easy. So what we're gonna do now? What's up, dog? We got more people coming in.
Hi, how are you?
What we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna look real quick at this, do some basic explanations of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. When you look at a chart, when you try and get a grasp on what the chart's doing, what the market is doing, it's called technical analysis. And that's a key word, that's a term you're gonna hear a lot. It's TA, technical analysis, charting, it's all the same thing. But Forex, at its core, if you open up your app and start pressing buttons and try and press a trade, you're gambling. I mean, it's like a casino at that point. The reason why we do this complicated bullshit right here is because we can tone down our loss ratio. We can kind of get a more favorable idea of what the market is doing. So, with that being said, I'm going to put my assistant down, and I'm going to get into everything that is up here on this chart, what I saw and why we're doing it, what it means, yada, yada, yada. This is the pair GBP USD, the Great Britain pound against the US dollar. Currencies are traded in pairs. Almost always they're traded in pairs. So this is the 4-hour chart. And some of you guys may not know this. I didn't know until I was like a couple of months into it, and I felt like an idiot for it. But each of these candles, when you're looking at a certain time chart, like the 4-hour chart, each of these candles represents 4 hours. So if you're looking at the 1-hour chart, each candle represents 1 hour, so on and so forth. The body, the bold dark part of each of these candles is known as the body of the candle. And the little thin part, either above or below, is called the wick. And that's noteworthy, you know, that's going to be super important. I suggest writing that down. These lines right here, right here, right here, these are all what I was talking about earlier called trend lines. It's just kind of an outlier for the zone of the overall market direction at that point in time. What this right here would be considered as is a downtrend. Overall, like I said earlier, the market is moving down. Here's an example of an uptrend. Here's another example of a more steep uptrend right here. The market is currently over here. This little tiny, tiny, tiny dot right here is currently where the market is at right now. And Rudy, if you remember earlier when I was talking about what it's probably going to do, I said it's probably going to stay bullish, and sure enough, it has continued up in price. This is, you can kind of, sort of, don't take this as gospel, and this is just me not being able to form words very well. I was homeschooled, so give me a break. But this is, in essence, kind of a line of support, if you want to look at it like that. It's kind of a dual purpose support line, and it's also a trend line. This is the general pattern that the market is following right here. It's coming down close to this zone. We're not counting the wick in that. We're just counting the bodies. That's what I do in my own trading style. If you want to count the wick, that's up to you. That's your call. That's cool. I don't suggest doing it because these long wicks, like you see right here, those don't happen all the time. You know, more often than not, it's a smaller candle body and a smaller wick, or a bigger candle body and a smaller wick. The wicks aren't usually that big, so if you want to employ that in your TA, that's up to you. But anywho, back to the important shit. You can see it's kind of making a normal flux throughout all of these patterns right here. And what we see, even though we're in a downtrend right here, what we see is multiple opportunities for buy and sell positions. Because see, that is the fucking amazing thing about, I'm sorry I keep dropping the F-bomb. I'm sure the people from my church that I used to go to are watching me right now thinking, what in the hell happened to that kid? Sorry. Yeah, I got a couple in here right now giving me the evil eye. But the thing about Forex that's so cool is that, like, let's say you have money in a traditional stock, and you put $1 in there, which I know there's no stock that you can buy that's $1 unless you're buying like stocks in like mud or dog crap or something. But if you buy into a stock and the price starts to drop, you're just fucked. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the way it is. You just got to accept it. But with Forex, if you hear, you know, hey, the stock market's about to crash for X, Y, and Z reasons, you put in a sell position and you make money off of the stock market dropping. And I mean, that's literally how it works. And you can also trade traditional stocks, Forex style. We have more people about to come into my house, so if things get loud for a second, I apologize.
Yeah, really.
Careful.
Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds. But anyway, with this, the thing about it is that you're never actually in possession of a commodity at any point. Just because you buy something, that doesn't mean that you are in possession of something. When you buy or when you sell, you're in essence gambling, and I hate to use that term in Forex, I fucking hate to use that term, but you're in essence gambling or betting on the direction of the market. When you put in a buy order, you're saying that the price is going to rise. When you put in a sell order, you're saying that the price is going to drop. So whether the financial climate in America is fucking amazing, better than it's ever been, or whether we're going through another depression, we still make money. Like, I will see shit on the TV at my gym about a certain news release that's negatively affecting a certain currency, and I'll know I can go sell that currency pair and make money off of it. So just because, you know, you see red numbers on the stock market or a particular stock going down, that doesn't mean anything. You can still profit off of that, and that's why Forex is so much better, in my opinion, and so much more profitable than trading stocks is. But all throughout this, we're seeing multiple buy and sell opportunities. What you do at the end of a position, instead of, like, if you buy something, instead of selling it, you close it. You close your position. And that's, I see you guys taking notes already. That's what I want to see. But let's say that you were trading in this channel over here. Now, this is what's called back testing. this is market data that's already accumulated. It's already happened. I'm just using it for an example to show you guys what I mean instead of us sitting here for days on end together, you know, waiting on something to happen. But we're seeing multiple buy and sell opportunities over here. And let's say market was right here and it's followed this channel for so long. You have a pretty good idea, let's say if it was right here, market was currently right here and it's continuously followed that channel, even though it's a downtrend, if it follows suit of what it's been doing historically accurately over and over again, it's going to rise. So this would be an opportunity to buy into the market, to buy at the market price, an instant execution, and you can do that straight from your MetaTrader. Or let's say we're right here. Let's pretend the market's currently right here. You can go to your MetaTrader and you put in a buy limit order, BUY space LIMIT, buy limit order. And what that's going to do is your buy limit price. But anyway, when you place a buy limit order, the purpose of that is you foresee the price of that particular pair dropping somewhat before it starts to rise again. And the advantage of doing that over a market entry is that your buy limit price is going to be significantly lower. So let's pretend price is right here. Your buy limit price is down here. And if you feel it's going to continue to rise, you have a much better entry point than right here because your entry's here. I know some of you that probably went in one ear and out the other, but that's, again, nothing that baby Pips can't fix. And let's talk about, I want to talk about candlesticks and price action for a second. Like I said before, all of these are candlesticks right here, and all these little thin parts right here are wicks. And I play heavily off of price action. I play heavily off of pin bar strategy lately. I'm really, really loving that. But wicks will tell you more than you would think about what the market's about to do, what it's trying to do. And I'm going to show you guys a bunch of examples right here that, I mean, you can go back and back test for literally years and you'll see the same things happen over and over and over again because it's natural market acclimation and reacclimation. Let's start over here, right here. This high wick up here, this would be called a rejection zone. I typically like to see more than just one wick, but this is still a rejection zone nonetheless. Price tried to reach up that high but could not close that 4-hour candle because each candle is the opening and close time of any time frame. What's up, Chris?
Nothing.
Okay. But it tried its hardest to push up and make a higher high, but the market rejected it. And typically what that's indicative of is that the market is going to start in a bearish motion. And that's exactly what happened. Bullish means up, bearish means down. Sorry, I should have covered that earlier. But we see a price rejection zone up here and it continued down. And we see right here, we had a candle with a wick that was significantly larger than the body of the candle, which means inversely of what I just said, it tried to test new lows. And it could not close out that 4-hour candle because the bulls, the buyers in the market, were buying up so much because they saw that low price opportunity that so many buy orders started flooding in that it pushed the price back up. And you can see right here, price continued to rise drastically over the next 36 hours because there was that low push and buyers just swooped in, swarmed it because they were buying in at such a primo price. And we have another amazing example right here, and this we're actually still to the second right here working off of this current play, but we see this humongous drop right here. It didn't close that 4-hour candle right there, but we have a rejection zone here. You can't really see too well, but we have a couple other wicks around here where the market price tried to drop down low and the buyers were just not having it. This candle closed here, price continued up bullish. We have, you can't really see it, I'm sure those of you at home can't see this too well, but we have this body of a candle here and we have a wick down here. And that was another attempt at sellers to get the price to go down lower, and the buyers weren't just having it, so it continued up into a bullish pattern. And we see a break in our channel right here of this particular candle. Price once again tried to reach lower lows. And once again, as has been happening for days, as you can see, because keep in mind, these are 4-hour candles. The buyers weren't having that shit, and they continued on to buy, and it's continuously rising. I will, after this live stream ends, I'm personally in my trading account going to be entering a buy position on this, simply because of what I'm seeing right here. And we have right beside, just 8 hours ago from where we're at, we have a humongous wick where price tried to drive down. Sellers tried to drive the price down, and they weren't having it, so it continued to close up here. Now we do have a bearish candle here, but right now we're continuing bullish. It's continuing up in price. So I know a lot of this sounds like absolute bullshit right now and makes no sense, but when someone used the term pit to me 7 months ago, I was like, dude, I don't know what the fuck that means. So it's something that you have to further immerse yourself in, and you'll start picking up on the terminology and the slang, and it'll all start to make sense. And every time you crack open the chart, after you learn a new strategy, after you learn new terminology or something like that, it's going to make a little bit more sense. It's going to make more and more sense. I remember so many nights I've sat right here frustrated as fuck because I was looking at a chart and I was like, dude, I don't fucking understand this shit. Like, it's just not clicking. I could not make a connection with it. And I got back to studying, you know, tried to learn, you know, my strengths and weaknesses, and it's starting to make more sense. I'm still super new at it, but day by day it's starting to make a little bit more sense. But I just have a couple of little notes up here. High-end price rejection is when there's a zone of higher price that gets rejected and it turns into an overall bearish movement. And that's exactly what happened right here. We saw a lot of what's called indecision in the market. We saw just a bunch of choppy, ranging shit happening right here. And since we had a lot of high-end price rejection, there was a steep decline. Just in one 4-hour candle, we came all the way from up here to all the way down here. And shortly thereafter, it continued and brings us back to that other wick that we saw where price tried to test new highs for that particular zone, and it continued further down. And then we have the inverse right here, you know, strong low end rejection, indicative of bullish movement soon to come, and that's exactly what happened. We saw some low end rejection here, and we saw some heavy low end rejection here, and it continued to go up. Some of you that are, you know, somewhat familiar with trading, you're gonna understand exactly what I'm saying. Some of you that are new to it have no fucking clue what I'm saying, but again, that's where studying comes in handy, because you can get on YouTube. This is something everyone needs to be taking notes about. There's a guy on YouTube named Adam Khoo, Khoo, and he is the best as far as free education goes. Honestly, you can watch him, you know, describe what the Forex market is and why we have it, the place in the world that it serves, you know, what it's good for, and he'll also break down, you know, numbers, trading strategies, everything that you need. He will teach you how to do it in a lot more eloquent terms than I can. But what's it?
Spell his last name again?
Khoo, Adam Khoo on YouTube. But learning some of his technical analysis lessons will help you get a better bearing on the market. Babypips.com will help you get a better bearing on the market. Like I said, y'all, you know, 6-7 months ago when I first started up until about 3 months ago when I would look at a chart, I had no idea what was going on. And I finally started carving out, you know, maybe 30 minutes, an hour a day where I was just getting in the charts, trying to learn the shit. And, you know, it starts making a little bit more sense over time. That's really all I'm going to say right now. For the live stream, we have a packed house right here that you guys can't really see. But I'm going to sit down with these guys and we're going to talk a little bit. You know, I'm going to try and educate them a little bit and do what I can. But we're going to try and make a live stream a somewhat regular thing. I just wanted to open you guys' eyes up to this a little bit. And I want to leave it with this for a little bit of motivation for you guys to try and give this a shot. There's a trader that I follow named Christopher Derrick. He's with iMarkets Live. I have a love-hate relationship with them. That's something for another time. But he has been trading for 4 years, and he held a live trade seminar where he flipped $181, I believe it was, into $64,000 in 4 hours in front of a bunch of people. So that's the kind of money that's on the table right here if you commit yourself to it. You can go find it on YouTube if you don't believe me. Call my bluff. Go look it up. It's there. You can watch it. So that's Christopher Derrick. He's a young guy. He's barely any older than I am. He's like 27 or 28 years old. But he is unbelievable, and that's the kind of money that you can make doing this if you learn how to do it. And that was started with $181, and he made someone's 2-year salary in 4 hours. So that's the kind of money that you're playing with. That's the kind of money you can be making. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you learned something. Damn, how do I end this shit?